Have you ever made a decision and immediately wondered, what if I had chosen differently? What if you took a different job, said yes instead of no, or never clicked on this video? Most people think those possibilities simply disappear, but according to some of the biggest ideas in modern physics, they might not. Some scientists believe another version of that decision still exists. Others think entirely different universes are being born right now. Some believe reality splits every second. Some think our universe is inside a black hole. And one theory suggests none of this is even real, because the multiverse isn't one idea. It's a collection of completely different theories, each trying to answer one impossible question. Could reality be far bigger than the universe we can actually see? Today, we're exploring every major type of multiverse, from the ones that scientists seriously consider to the ideas that sound completely impossible. And by the end, you'll realize something surprising. The biggest mystery isn't whether another universe exists. It's what kind of multiverse we might actually live in. Whenever people hear the word multiverse, they usually imagine Marvel movies, Doctor Strange, or portals connecting parallel Earths. But that's not what physicists mean. In fact, different scientists use the exact same word to describe completely different ideas. Some come from cosmology, some come from quantum mechanics, some come from mathematics, some come from string theory, and some are so bizarre, they don't just create another universe. They redefine what reality itself actually is. So let's begin with the simplest possibility, one that doesn't require magic or science fiction, just an infinite universe, infinite space. Imagine standing in the middle of the universe and walking in one direction, not around Earth, not across the Milky Way, not even across every galaxy we can see. Just keep going, forever. If the universe is truly infinite, then something extraordinary happens. Eventually, every possible arrangement of matter has to repeat. Think of shuffling a deck of cards. There are only so many possible combinations. Eventually, you'll start seeing the same order again. Now imagine the deck isn't made of cards. It's made of atoms. Every planet, every star, every galaxy, every person, including you, somewhere at a distance so unimaginably enormous that light could never reach it. There could be another Earth, another city, another house, another room, and another version of you watching this exact video, thinking the exact same thoughts. Not your twin, not your clone, not someone similar. The exact same arrangement of atoms, the exact same memories, the exact same life, at least up to this moment. Because here's where things become even stranger. If there's one identical version of you, there are also versions that are almost identical. Maybe one where you chose a different career, one where you moved to another country, one where dinosaurs never went extinct, one where humanity never evolved. Every possible arrangement exists somewhere, simply because infinite space eventually repeats itself. It sounds unbelievable, but notice something important. None of these universes have different laws of physics. Gravity still works the same. Light still travels the same speed. They're simply unimaginably distant regions inside one endless universe. But what if reality isn't just infinitely large? What if new universes are constantly being created? Bubble universes. Imagine watching a pot of boiling water. Tiny bubbles appear. They grow, they drift apart, and new ones continue forming forever. Now replace every bubble with an entire universe. According to one of the leading theories in cosmology, that's surprisingly close to what reality might actually look like. Scientists call this idea eternal inflation. It suggests that after the Big Bang, space never completely stopped expanding. Instead, most of reality is still rapidly inflating, creating brand new universes like bubbles in an endless cosmic ocean. Our universe would simply be one bubble among countless others, inside our bubble. The laws of physics appear perfectly normal. Stars form, galaxies evolve, life becomes possible. But another bubble might be completely different. Gravity could be stronger, electrons could behave differently. The number of dimensions might not even be the same. Some universes might never produce stars. Others could collapse almost instantly. Some may be so strange that nothing recognizable could ever exist inside them. And here's the frustrating part. We'll probably never know, because the space between these bubbles expands faster than light itself. No spaceship, no signal, no technology could ever cross that impossible distance. Those universes may exist forever, yet remain forever beyond our reach. It's like living inside one bubble, while an endless ocean of others surrounds you, hidden behind an expanding wall you'll never cross. But even these universes still follow one important rule. Each bubble contains only one version of history. The next theory completely destroys that idea, because according to quantum physics, history itself may split into countless realities every second. Quantum worlds flip a coin, heads or tails. Simple, at least that's how it looks. But deep inside the quantum world, nature behaves very differently. Tiny particles don't always choose one path immediately. Instead, they exist in multiple possibilities at the same time. Physicists have debated for decades what happens next. Most interpretations say, when the result is observed, those possibilities collapse into one reality. But one physicist, Hugh Everett, asked a completely different question. What if nothing actually collapses? What if every possibility continues to exist? Instead of choosing one outcome, the universe simply splits. In one universe, the coin lands on heads. In another, it lands on tails. Neither universe is fake. Both are equally real. Now imagine that happening, not once, but every time a quantum event occurs. Every second, every decision, every interaction between particles, reality branches again and again and again. Every possible outcome continues in its own universe. Somewhere, there's a version of Earth where dinosaurs survived. Somewhere, the Roman Empire never collapsed. Somewhere, World War II ended differently. Somewhere, you accepted the opportunity you regret turning down. Somewhere, you never made your biggest mistake. Every possibility continues somewhere. The strange part is, none of these versions can ever meet. Once reality branches, each universe follows its own path forever. To you, it feels like only one future happened. But according to this theory, every future happened. You simply experienced one branch. It's one of the most famous interpretations of quantum mechanics, and one of the most mind-bending. But believe it or not, the next idea goes even further, because it asks a question almost nobody thinks to ask. What if the universe isn't made of matter at all? What if it's made of mathematics? Math universe. What if mathematics doesn't just describe reality? What if mathematics is reality? At first, that sounds ridiculous. After all, math is something humans invented, right? But some physicists and philosophers argue the exact opposite. Maybe we didn't invent mathematics. Maybe we discovered it. Think about it. No matter where you are in the universe, 2 plus 2 will always equal 4. A triangle will always have 3 sides. The value of pi never changes. These aren't human opinions. They're universal truths. Physicist Max Tegmark took this idea to its absolute extreme. He proposed something called the mathematical universe hypothesis. According to this idea, our universe isn't simply governed by mathematics. Our universe is a mathematical structure, and if that's true, then every mathematical structure that can logically exist also exists physically. Imagine writing down an entirely new set of equations, a universe with different dimensions, different geometry, different laws of physics, different versions of time itself. If those equations are mathematically consistent, then somewhere that universe is real, not imagined, not hypothetical, actually real. Our universe would simply be one tiny mathematical object, floating among infinitely many others. Some universes might not even have atoms. Some might not have gravity. Some could have completely different concepts of space and time. Reality itself would become infinitely more diverse than anything we could imagine. At this point, the multiverse isn't just creating completely different definitions of existence. But there's one theory you've almost certainly heard before, one that asks a question so unsettling that even some scientists take it seriously. What if none of this is actually real? Simulation. Imagine playing the most realistic video game ever created. The cities feel alive. The people have memories. Every tree, every cloud, every atom is perfectly simulated. Now imagine technology continuing to improve, not for another 100 years, not for another 1,000, but for another 1,000,000 years. Would a civilization that advanced be capable of simulating an entire universe? Probably. Now imagine they don't build just one simulation. They build millions, billions, maybe even trillions. Inside each simulation, intelligent life evolves. Those simulated beings grow up, fall in love, discover science, and wonder whether they're real. Eventually, the number of simulated people would become much larger than the number of original people, which leads to a disturbing conclusion. Statistically, you're more likely to be simulated than original. This idea became famous through philosopher Nick Bostrom. He argued that one of three things must be true. Either advanced civilizations always destroy themselves before creating simulations. They choose never to build them. Or we're almost certainly living inside one. If that's true, then everything around you, your memories, your entire history, could simply be data. Maybe the laws of physics aren't really laws. Maybe they're the programming rules of the simulation. Some people even wonder whether strange coincidences, déjà vu, or the Mandela effect, are tiny glitches in the system. There's no evidence that proves any of this. But the possibility is fascinating, because if advanced civilizations can create simulations, there wouldn't be just one simulated universe. There could be billions of them, each running slightly different versions of reality. But simulations still depend on one thing. They need a universe to run inside. The next theory imagines something completely different. What if universes aren't programmed? What if they're born from cosmic collisions? Brane Worlds. Imagine reality as an enormous stack of invisible sheets. Each sheet is an entire universe. We live on one. Another universe exists on another. Normally, they never touch. They drift silently through a higher dimensional space, completely unaware of one another. But every once in an unimaginably long time, two of those giant cosmic sheets collide. And when they do, the collision releases an unimaginable amount of energy, enough energy to create what looks exactly like a Big Bang. In this picture, our universe didn't begin from nothing. It began because two higher dimensional worlds crashed together. The Big Bang wasn't the beginning of reality. It was simply the aftermath of an impact. Some physicists even suggest these collisions happen over and over again, creating new universes again and again and again. Meanwhile, other invisible universes continue floating nearby, separated from us by dimensions we can't even perceive. Gravity might be the only thing capable of leaking between them. Everything else, light, matter, remains trapped on our own cosmic sheet. It's one of the strangest ways to picture reality. But somehow, the next theory is even more poetic, because instead of universes colliding, it suggests the universe simply never stops being reborn. Endless cycles. Most people think the universe had one beginning, One Big Bang, one timeline, one ending. But what if the Big Bang wasn't actually the beginning? Physicist Roger Penrose proposed one of the strangest ideas in modern cosmology. He suggested the universe may go through an endless series of cosmic ages called aeons. Our universe expands, stars are born, galaxies collide, black holes consume everything around them. Then, over unimaginable lengths of time, even the black holes disappear. Eventually, the universe becomes almost completely empty. No stars, no planets, no matter. Only an endless sea of radiation. Most people would call that the end. But Penrose saw it differently. He argued that when the universe becomes empty enough, its infinite future becomes mathematically indistinguishable from a brand new Big Bang. In other words, the death of one universe becomes the birth of the next. Not destruction, transformation. Every ending creates another beginning, again and again, forever. Our universe might simply be the latest chapter in an endless cosmic story with no true beginning and no final ending. It's a beautiful idea. But the next theory replaces endless rebirth with something even stranger. What if universes aren't born from time, but from black holes? Black hole universes. Black holes are some of the most mysterious objects in the universe. They're so dense that not even light can escape their gravity. For decades, scientists believed anything falling inside simply disappeared forever. But what if that's only true from the outside? Some theoretical physicists have proposed a remarkable possibility. The inside of every black hole could become the beginning of an entirely new universe. To an outside observer, a star collapses, a black hole forms, everything ends. But from the inside, that same event could look completely different. Instead of destruction, space begins expanding. Matter spreads outward, time moves forward. From the perspective of that newborn universe, it would look exactly like a Big Bang. That means every black hole could secretly be giving birth to another cosmos. Now think about what that implies. There are billions of black holes in our galaxy alone, hundreds of billions of galaxies, each filled with even more black holes. Every one of them could contain an entirely separate universe, completely isolated, completely unreachable, living out its own history. Some physicists have even suggested something more astonishing. Our own universe might have begun inside a black hole that formed in another universe. If that's true, then our Big Bang wasn't the beginning of everything. It was simply someone else's black hole. It's one of the boldest ideas in theoretical physics, but somehow there's still one theory that imagines an even larger reality: string landscape. String theory began as an attempt to explain everything: gravity, quantum mechanics, space, time, all within one elegant framework. Instead, it may have accidentally predicted the largest multiverse of all. According to string theory, the tiny building blocks of reality aren't particles. They're unimaginably small vibrating strings. Different vibrations create different particles. Different particles create different universes. But here's the astonishing part. Those strings can arrange themselves in an almost unimaginable number of ways. Current estimates suggest there could be a 1 followed by 500 zeros, possible versions of the universe. That's not just a big number. It's so enormous that writing it out would fill pages. Each possibility creates a universe with different laws of physics, different particles, different forces, different constants. Some universes would collapse almost instantly. Some would never form stars. Others might be filled with galaxy, yet never produce life. And somewhere among those unimaginable possibilities, one universe ended up with exactly the right conditions for planets, stars, chemistry, and eventually us. Maybe our universe isn't special at all. Maybe we simply won the cosmic lottery. If enough universes exist, eventually, one of them was bound to look exactly like ours. So, Which of these multiverse theories is actually correct? The honest answer is, we don't know. Some are serious scientific models based on modern cosmology. Some are interpretations of quantum mechanics. Some are mathematical ideas. Some are philosophical arguments. And some may eventually turn out to be completely wrong. But together, they reveal something extraordinary. The multiverse isn't one theory. It's many completely different attempts to answer the same impossible question. Why does reality exist the way it does? Maybe somewhere, another version of you already knows the answer. Maybe another universe has completely different laws of physics. Maybe our universe is inside a black hole. Maybe we're living inside an unimaginably advanced simulation. Or maybe this is the only universe that has ever existed. And somehow, that's the strangest possibility of all. If you enjoyed exploring the biggest ideas in modern physics, don't forget to subscribe. And tell me in the comments, which type of multiverse do you think is the most terrifying? And which one do you secretly hope is real? Because if the multiverse does exist, there's probably another version of you already typing a different answer.